R. Sugaraj Samuel. He is working as a professor in physics at New College, Chennai. He is also training students for IIT JEE, AIEEE and BIT SAT. He has more than 16 years experience in both teaching and research. He has published a book titled The Complete Handbook of Bachelor of Electronic Science Practicals, which is prescribed for the syllabus for BSc Electronic Science by University of Madras. He has presented papers in several national and international conferences and has also conducted many training programs and workshops to motivate energetic students. His research areas are ultrasonic, polymers, crystal growth, and photovoltaic systems. He is experienced in both regular classroom teaching and online teaching as well.
Welcome to UGC lecture series on oscillations and waves. We have been listening to a series of lectures on the subject oscillations and waves, and we are discussing about waves. In this lecture also we are going to see the concepts related to waves. We are going to learn about these concepts in this lecture: wave equation, the direction of propagation, velocity of wave, particle and wave velocities, and finally the differential equation pertaining to the wave. So, these concepts we are going to learn in this lecture. Especially, how could we represent a wave as an equation, because we have to analytically handle the wave motion for various analysis, because energy is transferred in the form of vibrations, waves. So, about all these we have learnt in the introductory session, and further to that, how this wave could be represented in a mathematical form. That is what we are going to learn, especially in this lecture. We are going to see the various aspects of representing wave, because wave could propagate in several ways, as a plane wave, as a spherical wave, a wave can propagate, and then as a longitudinal wave, as a transverse wave it can propagate. So, like that several ways a wave could propagate. How mathematically we can represent it, that is what is the main learning objective behind this lecture. So, let us see the important technical aspects, some of the technical terms which will be very much useful for writing a wave as an equation. So, let us see them one by one. First, let us have a basic understanding of the oscillation that is propagating in a medium is called wave. So, we need to once again start from the equation of SHM, simple harmonic motion only. The simplest type of wave is the one in which particles of the medium are in simple harmonic vibration as the wave passes through it. The wave is then called simple harmonic wave. From the concept of oscillation, it is now called as wave. Consider a particle O in a medium. The displacement of it at any instant of time is given by the equation, which is the equation of SHM, y is equal to a sin omega t. It does not require any further explanation. Y is equal to a sin omega t is the equation of a simple harmonic motion of a particular point which is moving to and fro with respect to a mean position, and here we have taken that as the maybe O might be an origin. Let us see the illustration of the point which is called as O in this case, where A is the amplitude, omega is the angular frequency of the wave. Consider a particle P at a distance x from the particle O on its right. Let the wave travel with a velocity v from left to right. Since it takes some time t for the disturbance to reach P, its displacement can be written with a delay. See here phi is the delay because it will be at a different phase. So, there is a phase difference between the point O and P. When we have a typical illustration a diagram representing what is the point O, what is the point P, where they are located, how the wave is propagating. I think typical diagram only will help us to have an understanding of what we have seen so far. This is the diagram which helps us to learn about it, and this is a plane progressive wave. It is traveling in space like this, and this is the distance x, and wavelength is also shown, and this is the point O, this is the point P, and this is the displacement at an instant. So, this is what is y, and the phase of this point is represented here. So, that phase is the difference. So, it is shown here, it is a sin omega t minus phi. So, this represents the position y, the displacement of point P. So, there is a phase difference. So, that is shown here in this diagram. It is propagating in the x direction. The wave has moved, as far as our concerned, it is propagated at a distance x. Now, what is this phi? Where phi is the phase difference between the particles O and P, we know that the path difference of lambda corresponds to a phase difference of 2 pi radian. Hence, a path difference of x corresponds to a phase difference of a typical ratio. For lambda, the phase difference is 2 pi, then for x how much it is. So, we can represent the phase difference phi in terms of path difference x, because the term phi is the phase and the distance it has propagated in the x direction is taken as x itself here. So, there is a correlation between the phase phi and the path x. So, this is the typical mathematical relation based on the ratio. For lambda wavelength, the phase difference is 2 pi. That is a easy way of correlating the two. So, based on that, we have written the phase difference phi as the path difference in terms of path difference x using this equation. So, now we can substitute for this phi in the equation that we have originally written. So, this is how it gets modified. The equation becomes like this: y is equal to a sin omega t, and instead of this phi we now write it as the path difference 2 pi divided by lambda multiplied with x, and we can bring in a term k which is 2 pi divided by lambda called as wave number as far as the oscillations and waves concept is concerned. We have one more wave number in atomic physics and molecular physics, spectroscopy and all, we have 1 divided by lambda. There it is having a different meaning, but here as far as the oscillations and waves concepts are concerned, the wave number is 2 pi divided by lambda. So, that is taken as the wave number k, and when we use that wave number k here, the equation of the plane progressing wave takes this form: y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. So, this is the equation of a plane progressing wave. We have come to the main objective of this lecture. We have derived an equation for the wave itself. It is y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx for a wave that is propagating in the positive x direction. So, how it is different from the oscillation? Because we have started off this derivation from the basic equation for oscillation. From that only we have arrived at the equation for wave. How it is different? Look at the equation once again: y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. So, this is an additional term that is present as far as the wave is concerned, and this is the time term, or we call it as temporal term, and this is x. So, this is related to the direction of propagation. It is also called the spatial term. The term which has t, this term omega t is called temporal term, the term kx is called spatial term. So, wave is the one which has the spatial variation as well as the temporal variation. It is varying, the disturbance is varying with respect to time and also with respect to space, it is propagating in one direction. Now, you may have a doubt in your mind. In the case of oscillation also there is a spatial variation, right. In the case of oscillation also, the vibrating particle or the oscillating particle or the point is moving to and fro motion. So, that also has a spatial variation. Then where it is accounted, how it is represented? Have a look at the equation once again. See, this is the term y, which is the displacement. So, in simple terms we call this y as displacement from the mean position, but this x is the direction of propagation itself, the x direction, it is moving in the x direction. So, we should understand the difference that is in between the y, the term y and x. The y is the displacement, but the x is the direction of propagation. So, when this kx term is present, if it is present in a equation, then it represents the equation of a wave. If the kx term is not there, just omega t, maybe with a plus or minus phi only for the phase is there, it represents the equation of a oscillation. If the kx term is present, then it is a wave. In the case of oscillation, the phi, if there is a phase difference, that cannot be replaced with a spatial term like kx, because that phi will remain phi itself, it cannot be replaced by the term involving x, but here it could be done only for the wave. So, this typically represents the equation of a progressing wave in a particular direction. When we say progressing or a propagating wave, then the direction is very important for us, whether it is travelling in the positive x direction or negative x direction, and how it is starting, all that. Can this one simple equation explain all the types of waves, all the waves propagating in different directions? We may have to make some minor changes, minor modifications in the equation, so that it could represent all such waves. Even the transverse and longitudinal waves could also be represented using this simple equation by making suitable modifications. That is what now we are going to learn. For different directions of propagation, how the equation has to be modified. Let us see the concepts one by one. Now, before that, these are the other forms of writing the wave equation. So, this simple equation we have come across now, y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. Now, the omega and k can be replaced suitably. Omega could be written as 2 pi by t, and here I have given the explanation for each term, and for k it is the wave number, a newly learnt term. So, it is 2 pi divided by lambda. So, in this expanded way also we can have a wave equation, and this is also possible. We can take this term 2 pi outside the bracket, which is common for both. So, we can write it like this. So, this t is the time which is changing, and this t is the characteristic of the wave, time period, and this is the x which is continuously varying one. The lambda is a constant because there is a wavelength, that wavelength is a constant. We can write in whatever way we want, we can make suitable modifications to the wave equation as we require. So, these are some of the forms of equations that could represent a wave. Now, our other objective is to write an equation to accommodate waves travelling in different directions, maybe positive x direction and negative x direction, how the modifications are to be done. Let us see them one by one. The direction of propagation is very important. The equation of wave travelling from left to right, when we have the conventional Cartesian coordinate system, when you say left to right, it is the positive x direction. So, this is the equation we have derived. So, that equation could be just like that taken. If the wave is travelling from right to left, that is towards the negative x direction, then accordingly instead of this x here, we have to put a minus x. So, that minus of minus becomes plus x here. So, that is the difference. So, this represents the equation moving in the positive x direction, which has omega t minus kx, the equation for a wave travelling in the negative x direction could be having a term omega t plus kx. So, with this we could understand whether the wave is propagating in the positive x direction or negative x direction with the highlight shown here. Now, this is the direction of propagation for both. So, these forms we should keep in mind when we have these two equation, the forms in our mind, we can easily identify in which direction the wave is propagating. The term within bracket, if it has omega t minus kx, it is moving in the positive x direction. The terms within bracket has omega t plus kx, then it is propagating in the negative x direction. Without confusion, we should be able to identify in which direction the wave is propagating by looking at the form, the terms in the bracket. Now, to have a further understanding, let us see this illustration. See here, it is a snapshot picture. The dark line shows the wave position at a particular instant of time. The dotted line shows the next instant. This position would become this position at next moment. This position is transferred to the next point here. So, maybe a transverse wave. So, there are two snapshots taken. The solid line is at an earlier state, this dotted line is at a later state. So, this represents the wave propagating towards a negative x direction. So, here it is about to move up, the point has moved up like that, each one. Here it is having a tendency to move down, this is moving down like that. Here it is moving in the positive x direction. So, as the wave travels to right or left, a single point in the medium will only move up or down in the same direction as the point before the disturbance is just transferred to the next point. So, this snapshot case, the snapshot positions we should keep in mind. It is not a permanent picture, it is a snapshot, an instant. The next instant the positions would change. Maybe the form of the wave will be the same, but it is moving ahead. The next snapshot we have to take to have a new position of the particles. Like that we should analyze the progressing wave. Now, this is again a snapshot thing here at a later stage. So, this is at an earlier stage, here the solid line is at a later stage, the wave is just propagating. This would not occur when this is occurring, at a later stage it will occur. Once it is propagating, this process will continue. The same thing is true for the wave which is moving to the right also. See, this is how they are moving, these are the equations governing them. This is once again highlighted so that we could keep these two equation forms in our mind. Now, the direction of propagation is also shown here. What will happen if the omega t minus kx is just flipped? It is written as kx minus omega t. If it is shown in that manner, if an equation which has this form, y is equal to a sin, instead of omega t minus kx, if we have kx minus omega t, what way the wave is represented? See, based on the basic trigonometric identities, we can put a minus pi here for the old equation that we are familiar with, and there is a minus sign here. So, y is equal to minus a sin omega t minus kx. So, if you want to write the kx minus omega t as omega t minus kx, then we have to put a minus sign here. So, in that case, how the wave would modify? Is it representing the wave travelling to the right? Yes, definitely, because the form is there is a omega t minus kx or kx minus omega t, the minus term is present within the bracket. So, definitely the wave is propagating towards the right, but these two terms are flipped, the omega t minus kx and kx minus omega t, these two are just changed. So, how it is going to happen? It is, see here it is starting from the mean position, it is having the positive displacement initially, but here it is having the negative displacement initially. That is the only difference. Of course, this is also happening once again here after a travel of half wavelength, a crust. So, when we have this basic trigonometric identities, we will be able to identify whether the wave is going in the positive x direction or how it is beginning its vibration, whether it is in the positive sense or in the negative sense. These clarities we will have. We will apply the same concept for the wave that is propagating towards the negative x direction, the same manner. Omega t plus kx, the wave will progress in the negative x direction, this we know. If we flip the kx minus omega t, nothing will happen because it is a term which is additive, addition, commutative law fails here. But if you put a minus sign here, both are negative, minus kx and minus omega t, same signs if we have, then it is propagating in the negative x direction, and once again this minus sign says the starting point will have a negative displacement like this instead of positive displacement. It is highlighted here with the beginning lines here. So, with the trick that we do with the trigonometric identities, we will be able to identify the direction of propagation and also the initial mode or initial way of starting the vibration for the wave to progress. So, all these are possible. In simple terms, we can consolidate these wave forms and give it in a nutshell. So, let us see, this is a consolidation. If we have the different signs for the omega t and kx, definitely the wave propagates in the positive x direction, and based on the omega t and minus kx or kx minus omega t, we can say whether it is starting with the positive sense or negative sense. The same manner here also, for the wave that is propagating to the minus x direction, omega t plus kx and kx minus omega t with the minus sign here, that also has the direction of propagation and the sense of vibration. Let us learn about the difference between the longitudinal wave and transverse wave, how they are to be represented. Let us see them. As the particle displacement for a longitudinal wave is in the direction of propagation, we can just modify the equation of transverse wave for the longitudinal wave now. So, we know the equation of transverse wave is this, because x is the direction of propagation and y is the direction of vibration. The y is in the y direction, the particle is vibrating in the y direction, but wave is propagating in the x direction. So, by looking at the y and x, we can say whether it is a transverse or longitudinal. Here it is a transverse wave, because here it is y and this is x, both are perpendicular to each other. But how it could represent a longitudinal wave? By identifying the terms once again. See, the left hand side also it is x, on the right hand side also it is x. So, both are in the same direction. Just to have a difference between the two x terms, I have put a suffix p here. Here the p represents the direction of the particle vibration. So, x is the direction of the particle, and here this x is the direction of the wave, but both are x. So, longitudinal waves and transverse waves could easily be identified by looking at the displacement term and the spatial term. If the displacement term is y and the spatial term is x, it is the transverse wave, and if the displacement and the spatial term both are x or both are y or both are same, then it is representing a longitudinal wave. So, using these techniques, we can identify whether the wave is a progressing wave in the x plus x direction, minus x direction with the initial vibration, and also we can identify whether it is a transverse wave or a longitudinal wave. So, we are now thorough with the various ways of representing a particular wave based on the initial condition and the type of wave. Now, let us go ahead to see this is how the highlighted information is shown here. both are x, it is longitudinal, both are y and x, then it is transverse wave. Now, we will move ahead to learn about what is wave velocity. The wave velocity refers to the velocity of a particular phase position of the wave. The velocity at which a wave phase propagates is called the wave velocity. The wave velocity is a property and it depends on the type of wave and the nature of the medium. When we say the wave velocity, it is different from the particle velocity. The particle velocity is a to and fro motion that will actually have a varying term. When the particle is crossing the mean position, it will have the highest velocity. When it has come to the extreme position and returning, the extreme position, it is having a 0 velocity, or the velocity is 0, and we have the variation for the accelerations also. So, that velocity is different, that is the particle velocity. But when we say the wave velocity, the crest or trough or any one phase position, phase point, when it is propagating in space, it will be a uniform velocity, it will move ahead in the same sense. If we bring back the animations that we have seen in the last lecture, how the movement is happening in one direction, the disturbance, that is called the wave velocity. That is a standard constant velocity that depends on the type of wave and also the medium in which the wave is propagating. The type of wave means whether it is a longitudinal wave or transverse wave or an electromagnetic wave or a mechanical wave, all that, and the medium, whether it is a gaseous medium, liquid medium, solid medium, and density, the pressure for as far as the gas and substances are concerned, as far as the solid and liquids are concerned, then it is a density. So, they play a vital role in deciding the velocity, wave velocity. We are not going to indulge in all that now. In the future lectures, we will see how it is affecting the wave velocity, but right now we should know the wave velocity depends on the type of wave and the nature of the medium. But nevertheless, we can try to write an equation for the wave in terms of the velocity, and this is how it is attempted. Let us have a quick look at it. The expression for the wave velocity can be derived from the very basic definition. We know what is speed. Speed, here it is the wave velocity, it is distance divided by time. So, when we write the wave velocity as v, the wavelength could be taken as a particular distance. It is covered in a time period, in a single unit time period of oscillation. So, that time period we can take. So, when we replace the distance with the velocity, time period, and the speed with the wave velocity, we get a beautiful equation. V is equal to the lambda divided by capital T. Here capital T is the time period which is inverse of frequency. So, when we write, we have V is equal to nu lambda as the wave velocity equation. V is equal to nu lambda is a very famous and easy to remember wave equation which relates the velocity, the frequency and the wavelength of a wave that is travelling in a medium. Of course, it is governed by, as I said, the nature of the medium also has a vital role in deciding the wavelength, but how it is affecting we will learn later. But right now we should remember that equation. Once again, let us have a look at the equation. V is equal to nu lambda. So, we have learnt about the wave velocity, the highlights of the wave velocity. The wave velocity of wave is different in different media. For example, the velocity of sound wave in air is 330 meter per second. The velocity of sound wave in water is 1480 meter per second, and similarly the velocity of electromagnetic wave in vacuum is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So, these are some of the highlighted information. So, with this we come to the end of this lecture. So, before we wind up this lecture, we will see the session summary. In this lecture, we have seen the concepts of wave equation, direction of propagation, wave velocity, particle and wave velocities, and the differential equation. Before we wind up the session, let us test our understanding by answering these questions. Derive the equation of a plane progressive wave. Discuss in detail the wave equation for waves traveling in different directions. Derive the equation for wave velocity in terms of frequency and wavelength. Differentiate between the particle velocity and wave velocity. So, with this I would like to wind up this lecture. We will see the related concepts in the upcoming lectures. Thank you for watching.